You know what's wild? Most people are still spending money on things that made perfect sense 5 or 10 years ago, but today, those same purchases are basically just setting cash on fire. And the frustrating part is, nobody tells you when something stops being worth it. You just keep paying, keep auto-renewing, keep walking into the same stores out of pure habit, and meanwhile, your bank account slowly bleeds out for absolutely no reason. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I put together a list of 10 things that I genuinely believe are no longer worth your money in 2026. Some of these are going to be obvious once I say them out loud. Others might actually surprise you. But all of them share something in common. The value proposition has collapsed. What you used to get for your dollar has either gotten worse, gotten cheaper somewhere else, or been completely replaced by something better. Now, before we get into it, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about being cheap. This isn't a video telling you to stop buying coffee or to cancel all your subscriptions and live like a monk. This is about being smart with your money. Because when you stop wasting it on things that no longer deliver real value, you suddenly have more to spend on the things that actually do. So let's get into it. Number one, cable television. I know, you've heard this one before, but you might actually be shocked by how many people are still paying for traditional cable packages in 2026. We're talking anywhere from $80 to over $200 a month for a bloated bundle of channels where you realistically watch maybe four of them. The entire business model of cable was built around forcing you to pay for 200 channels so you could watch five. And for decades, consumers had no choice. You wanted ESPN, you got the Cooking Channel, the Home Shopping Network, and 40 other things you never asked for. That deal made sense when streaming didn't exist. It does not make sense now. Between the streaming platforms, free ad-supported options, and the sheer volume of content available online, there is genuinely no justification for a traditional cable bill in most households anymore. If you're still paying for cable, this is your sign to do the math. Number two, extended warranties on most electronics. This one is a masterclass in how retailers make money off your anxiety. You walk up to the register, you've already committed to buying a $600 television or a new laptop, and then the person at the checkout asks if you want to add the 3-year protection plan for just another $120. And your brain goes into this weird risk-averse spiral where you start imagining every possible way the device could break. Here's the reality. Most modern electronics either fail very quickly within the first few weeks, which is typically covered by the manufacturer's warranty anyway, or they last for years without any issues. The extended warranty is priced in a way where the retailer almost always wins. Consumer protection laws in most places also give you more rights than retailers want you to know about. And if you're using a credit card with purchase protection benefits, you may already have coverage you're not even using. Stop buying the warranty. It is almost never worth it. Number three, new cars. Okay, let me be precise here because I'm not saying never buy a car. I'm saying buying a brand new car off the lot is one of the worst financial decisions most people make on a regular basis. And the numbers in 2026 make this even harder to justify than ever before. The average new car transaction price has climbed dramatically over the past several years, and the moment you drive a new vehicle off the lot, it loses a significant chunk of its value almost immediately. Meanwhile, the used car market has matured in ways that make finding a reliable 3 to 4-year-old vehicle easier than ever. You can get certified pre-owned vehicles with warranty coverage, thorough inspection histories, and comprehensive vehicle reports. The technology gap between a 2-year-old car and a brand new one is basically nothing for most buyers. You are paying a massive premium for the psychological satisfaction of something being new. That premium is not worth it for most people. Number four, gym memberships you don't actually use. Now, here's the thing. I'm not anti-gym. If you go to the gym consistently and you genuinely need that environment to work out, then a gym membership can be one of the best investments you make in your own health. But there is a reason the gym business model depends on a huge percentage of members who never show up. Gyms literally bank on your guilt and your optimism. They sign up 10 times more members than they could actually accommodate because they know statistically most people won't come. And most people keep paying month after month because canceling feels like admitting defeat. If you haven't used your gym in the last 30 days, you are donating money to a corporation in exchange for nothing. Home workout equipment has never been more affordable or more accessible. YouTube has more free fitness content than you could ever consume. Online fitness communities and apps have replaced the need for a physical location for a huge percentage of people. Audit your gym membership honestly. Either commit to using it or cut it. Number 5, landline phones. At this point, this might feel like the most obvious thing on the list, but according to various industry reports, a surprising number of households are still paying for landline service. And I understand there are specific situations where a landline can make sense, certain rural areas with spotty cell coverage, for example, or households with elderly family members who prefer them. But for the vast majority of people, a landline is a monthly bill that delivers almost nothing. Your cell phone does everything a landline does and 100 things it doesn't. And in 2026, the case for maintaining a separate landline for most households is essentially non-existent. If you're still paying for one out of habit or because you set it up years ago and just never got around to canceling, that is money you could redirect somewhere that actually helps you. Number 6, printed newspapers and magazines. I have genuine nostalgia for physical print media. There is something tactile and enjoyable about holding a well-designed magazine or sitting with a Sunday paper. But let's be honest about the value equation here. Most major newspapers and magazines have digital equivalents that are cheaper, more current, and easier to access. And many of the best journalism and long-form writing available today exists on digital platforms, newsletters, and independent publications that often cost less or are freely accessible. The print subscription is largely paying for the physical production and delivery of something you could read on your phone before it even hits your doorstep. If you love the experience of reading in print, that's a personal choice, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if you're subscribing to a print publication mostly out of inertia and you're barely reading it, that's a different story. The information value is available elsewhere for less. Number 7, overpriced college textbooks. This one is specifically for students or parents of students, and it is genuinely one of the most egregious money traps in modern education. The college textbook industry has operated for decades on a model where publishers release new editions every year or two with minimal actual changes, specifically to destroy the resale value of old editions and force students to buy new. The average student spends hundreds to over $1,000 on textbooks per semester at many schools. But in 2026, the alternatives are better than ever. Many textbooks are available legally through open educational resources and library systems. Digital rental platforms have driven prices down. Professor office hours often reveal that the new edition is largely identical to the one from 3 years ago. Before spending $1 on a full-price textbook, exhaust every other option. Check the library, check rental platforms, check whether an older edition will work. The publishers are counting on you not doing this research. Number 8, single-use kitchen gadgets. Walk into almost any kitchen supply store or scroll through any online shopping platform, and you will find hundreds of products designed to do one specific thing. The avocado slicer, the strawberry huller, the dedicated quesadilla maker, the electric can opener shaped like a cartoon character. These things are almost universally a waste of money and, more importantly, a waste of space. A good chef's knife and a basic set of kitchen skills will outperform the vast majority of single-purpose gadgets that end up sitting in a drawer after 3 uses. This category represents a fascinating psychological phenomenon where people pay for the idea of cooking better or eating healthier, which the gadget represents, without actually changing their behavior. The gadget becomes a way of feeling like you're investing in yourself without doing the actual work. Save your money and your drawer space. Invest in a few quality and multi-purpose tools instead. Number 9, used streaming subscriptions. Now, this one is a bit of an inversion of the cable point I made earlier, because here's what has happened in the streaming world. It started as this amazing, affordable alternative to cable, but in 2026, many households have accumulated so many individual streaming subscriptions that their combined monthly cost is now approaching or exceeding what cable used to cost them. And just like with cable, people aren't honestly tracking what they're actually watching on each service. Think about this for a second. If you are subscribed to 4 or 5 streaming platforms, and on 2 of them you watched one show, finished it 3 months ago, and haven't logged back in since, you are recreating the exact same problem cable had, except now you're managing it across 12 different apps and login credentials. The answer here is rotation. You don't need to have every streaming service active simultaneously. Watch what you need on a platform, cancel it, and move to the next one when you're ready. That simple habit can save hundreds of dollars a year. Number 10, name brand over-the-counter medications. This last one is one of the most straightforward money savings available to basically everyone, and yet brand loyalty in the pharmacy aisle runs incredibly deep. When you buy a name brand version of a common over-the-counter medication, whether that's a pain reliever, an allergy medication, an antacid, or a cold remedy, you are in most cases paying a significant premium for the brand name on the packaging. The generic or store brand version of the same medication is required by law to contain the same active ingredients in the same dosages. This is not a situation where the more expensive version is higher quality or more effective. The active pharmaceutical ingredient is chemically identical. What you are paying extra for is marketing, packaging design, and decades of advertising that has trained your brain to associate that brand name with effectiveness and trust. Generic medications go through the same approval processes and meet the same safety and efficacy standards. On a single purchase, the difference might be a few dollars. Across an entire year of household medications, it adds up to a meaningful amount. Now, I want to zoom out for a second, because there's a pattern running through all 10 of these things, and I think it's worth naming explicitly. In every single case, the thing being purchased isn't entirely without value. Cable has content, extended warranties provide some coverage, new cars are reliable, gym memberships give access to equipment, landlines work, print media contains real journalism, textbooks have educational content, kitchen gadgets do perform their specific function, streaming services have shows you enjoy, name brand medications work. The issue in every case is that the value has been decoupled from the price. You are paying far more than the value delivered justifies, either because better alternatives exist, because you're not using what you're paying for, or because the pricing model exploits psychological tendencies rather than reflecting genuine quality differences. This is really what financial literacy looks like in practice. It's not about extreme frugality or denying yourself things you enjoy. It's about developing the habit of regularly asking whether what you're paying actually matches what you're getting. Because companies are incredibly good at the opposite. They are experts at packaging, marketing, habit formation, and subscription models that make it easy to keep paying and hard to think critically about whether you should. The auto-renew feature alone has probably cost the average person thousands of dollars over the course of a decade, not because the services were bad, but because reviewing and canceling requires active effort, and staying subscribed requires zero effort. The path of least resistance is always to keep paying. Financial awareness means swimming against that current on a regular basis. So here's what I want to leave you with. Do an audit. Not a complicated one, just an honest one. Go through your bank statements and your credit card statements from the last 3 months and look at every recurring charge. Ask yourself one simple question about each one. Am I genuinely getting value from this that justifies what I'm paying? For some of them, the answer will be yes. Great, keep them. For others, you might realize you'd completely forgotten you were even paying for it. That's your sign. And look beyond the subscriptions, too. Think about the categories of spending I talked about today and ask whether those patterns show up in your financial life. Are you buying new when used would serve you just as well? Are you paying for brand names when generics are identical? Are you holding on to services out of habit or guilt rather than actual use? Because here's the honest truth about money. The goal isn't to have the least possible amount of enjoyment in your life. The goal is to make sure that every dollar you spend is actually working for you in some meaningful way, that it's buying you something real, whether that's genuine convenience, genuine enjoyment, genuine quality, or genuine security. When you cut the spending that doesn't deliver any of those things, you're not depriving yourself of anything. You're freeing up resources for things that actually matter to you. And the freedom that comes from that is something no overpriced cable bundle, no unused gym membership, and no brand name aspirin can give you. If you found this useful, make sure you subscribe because I put out content like this every week focused on helping you think smarter about money, spending, and building a financial life that actually works for you. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these 10 things you're guilty of, because I guarantee most of us have at least 2 or 3 on this list. And if you want to keep going, I've got another video right over here about the specific subscriptions that are the sneakiest at draining your bank account every single month. I'll see you there.